We just got information that a small enemy group deployed SA-11 between Sukumi and Gudada.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Alright, let's see where we are at. All those Mavericks are going for it, but SA-10 will be SA-10s. Oh, he actually got it. Nice. Which way is the runway? Channel 199 for a link. And 181 for comms. Radio check 305. I don't think anybody's actually on channel.
Yeah, my Charlie.
Oh, hey. I want to say I'm from Krasnodar. Alright, so it's a straight taxi and then a left for the runway. Krasnodar traffic.
Tracking. Tracking.
Oh,
Tracking.
this thing is annoying.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
There we go.
Tracking.
Krasnodar traffic, single takeoff, active runway 27.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Mill power.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Positive rate.
Altitude.
Gear up.
Altitude.
Flaps up.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Fencing in.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
You're on my IFF.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
And we're going to... Let's take a look at that SA-10 site and see if it's still mostly operational. I think it is. Actually,
Tracking.
there's only
Tracking.
a couple of things.
Tracking.
Probably not worth killing.
Tracking.
Going to go original course.
Tracking.
Waypoint 30.
Tracking. 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 tracking, tracking, tracking,
There's plenty of air cover. I think it'll be fine.
tracking, 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 tracking,
Okay.
We're making progress. We now control Sachi. Friendlies can now spawn here. We're making progress. We now control Sachi.
We'll turn on LD10s. Alright. Uncage. This looks like our target. Range 30 miles. Looks like that SA8 is already down. Not much to it. Let's go to IR and search for targets. What are those targets? That does look like a Shilka.
tracking, tracking, tracking,
F-16.
tracking, Tracking. Tracking.
F-16 is way off in the
Tracking.
distance.
Tracking.
It's not an issue.
Tracking.
It looks like some form of radar truck. What else is there? There's gotta be better targets than this.
Tracking. Tracking.
Ooh,
Tracking.
there we go. That's something.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Alright, we're in range.
Tracking. Track.
One away. Ooh, that's brave.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
It's a radar.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
Oh, that's something interesting.
Warning.
Two away.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Right. Just want to choke it down.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Alright.
Warning.
Well, what's wrong with my configuration now?
Warning.
Okay. Alright. Some air-to-air action. 110. Let's go air-to-air.
Tracking.
Oh,
Tracking.
there.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
That's gotta be it.
Tracking. Missile. Missile. Missile.
Oh, okay. That's probably a Phoenix
Missile.
launch.
Missile. Missile. Tracking. Tracking. Missile. Tracking. 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 Lock. Lock.
Fox 3.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
I got him. Yep. Splash 1.
Missile. 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 Lock. Lock. Lock.
Alright. That's one kill for today. Searching for targets. Data link shows not much. There's 2 MiGs out there. 2 MiGs that are jamming, so I can't actually I don't think I can actually target them. Actually, there they are. IFFing. And they're hostile. Or at least unknown identification. Cheat a little bit. Well, that's definitely a Sukhoi, but it looks like the Hornet already launched a Sparrow at it. I'm gonna wait to see what that Sparrow does. It looks way out of range though. Yeah, that Sparrow looks dead. Catering to afterburners. Should have enough fuel for one.
Missile, missile, missile,
Second launch.
missile.
No, that's
missile,
just the Sparrow.
Missile. Missile, missile, missile. Tracking, tracking,
Right.
tracking,
There's the track.
tracking.
I'm out. Mach.
Tracking.
Oh, there goes the missile launch. Cranked right.
Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking.
Cranked all the way. Oh, that's the missile.
Missile, missile, missile.
Nice. Oh, that's a hit.
Missile.
Splash. Alright. It's enough excitement for me. I'm out of missiles. Coming out of burner.
Looks like the Grisha is going down. Good job.
I don't want to. There's another flanker out there, but I don't want to pick a fight with it. It's gonna be. I only have heaters and. I'm gonna be outranged, and fuel's looking a little bit on the thinner side. I'm actually gonna come down this way. Bearing 172. Okay. Let me take a look at my adjustment controls. Countermeasure dispense.
Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking.
T2.
Tracking, tracking, tracking.
See dogfight mode.
Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking.
There we go. That's the key I'm looking for.
Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking.
Ooh, second missile launch from that Sukhoi. missile still tracking, but looks defeated. That missile's slow. This missile's fast.
Tracking. Tracking.
And that's
Tracking.
that missile is definitely tracking. I think he can outjank though.
Tracking. Tracking.
Oh yeah, he janked that one too. Ah, there we go. Alright, let's trim those out. Ooh, they're in close.
Tracking. Tracking.
No, that's the Fox
Tracking.
2. Flare, flare.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
Actually, that missile missed. Nice. Here's a SA-11. Wait to see if that missile does anything. Actually, I gotta really just launch both because nearest friendly airbase is Sochialer. Bearing 258. Looks like those missiles didn't lock onto anything. That's fine.
Excellent work. We now control Makeup. Friendlies can now spawn here.
Runway 24. Where's Mazdak? Should be a ways. I think next time I'll go up with cap loadout. I think that will be fun.
Lock, 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 lock. Still a little uneven on trim. Social traffic, flight of 1, emergency, fuel emergency, straight-in approach, runway 24.
A small enemy group has been eliminated. Good job.
JF-17, clearing the active.
Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking. Tracking, tracking, tracking.
Alright, let's fuel up. Go for cap. We don't need these.
请求补充燃油。请求装弹。收到。
Warning. 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 Warning.
加油完毕。
Alright. New data cartridge. Load.
装弹完毕。
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta update them. Alright. Update the DTC data.
Copy. Updating the DTC now.
Tracking, tracking.
DTC update complete.
New data cartridge.
Tracking,
On.
tracking, tracking,
Enter.
tracking.
Damn.
Tracking. Warning.
Hello. No, this is not a F-18. This is actually a JF-17.
Warning.
Let's see,
Track
configuration.
warning. Tracking. Tracking.
Or to ground. This is a JF-17. It is
Tracking.
some kind of like it's like a bit of a mixed. It's a Pakistani aircraft. It's
Tracking. Tracking.
it's got its roots in the F-16 and the MiG-21. It's like the F-16 and the MiG-21 had a baby. It's kind of weird,
Tracking.
but it's a really interesting aircraft, really.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
I love DCS. I've been flying for
Tracking.
a little bit. I'm not entirely proficient, especially when it comes to like air-to-air tactics and stuff, but I really enjoy the game.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
And this is actually one of my favorite modules because it has a lot going for it.
Tracking.
This is a very small aircraft with a very limited loadout, and it has a very limited fuel, and it has a bunch of really weird quirks. The F-18 is definitely a very solid module. It's actually probably for someone who is just starting in DCS and asking me if what module they should buy, and if they can only buy one module, I would definitely recommend the F-18, because you got basically an aircraft that can both do air-to-air and air-to-ground. It has a lot of really fun ordnance, smart munition, and all that stuff. Obviously, you have the dumb iron bombs and straight fire rockets as well. And of course, you have the naval aspect of trying to practice landings on carriers and stuff. So it's definitely the best bang for your buck as far as modules go. I have to admit, I got a little bit carried away buying the modules. I bought almost most of them, but I only fly like a handful. For example, for key bindings and the joystick, I only have the F-16, F-18, and this JF-17 set up. Let's see, we'll take a look at what options we have. We got a Su-30, that's basically an export version of a flanker. It's dual-seater. It's not nearly as strong as like your Su-27. It's export model. Also, it's a family model. Dual-seaters are inherently heavier than single-seaters and less maneuverable. That's kind of how they come. And of course we have the F-15 out there. We got a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a giant bomber coming for our airfield, so I'll probably have to intercept that. For DCS, let's see. It really is about angle of attack and coming in at the proper speed and
Good job, boys. We now control Gudada. Friendlies can now spawn here.
So with War Thunder, you're kind of doing it by feel, but in the actual DCS game, when you're trying to land the carriers, it's actually a little more methodical. There's a kind of like a display of lights right next to the carrier.
JF-17 has been spotted south of Gudada, heading straight for the airport. We estimate they will reach the airfield in about 10 minutes. Rearm and get ready to intercept the planes. We cannot let them get close to this airfield.
And that's called flying the ball. So you're trying to keep the ball, you're flying and you're looking at the ball and you're just trying to keep the ball from drifting, because the ball is how the carrier sees your aircraft, and it shows you any kind of deviation. So as long as you fly the ball correctly, you'll basically get the hook in every single time.
Tracking.
I say that, but it's a lot easier when I say it than it actually is. Alright. So right now I'm going to my air-to-air mode. I'm fenced in, and I'm in a radar mode called TWS, track while scan. And how do I say it? So there's two major modes of radar scans. There's range while scan. That's when you have when you're looking out with the radar, and when you lock up someone, you're actively beaming them with the radar. But track while scan, you're not actually beaming them with the radar. You're scanning them, and your computer is just memorizing like which direction they're going and tracking how they're moving and stuff. So when you have someone locked up in TWS, you're not actually locking them. So the good thing about that is that if they have a radar warning receiver, which most combat aircrafts do, it won't set off their radar warning receiver, and they won't know that you have them actually locked up. The limit of TWS is that it can be only used with missiles that have its own radar. So semi-active radar missiles that require input from your aircraft cannot work with TWS. So that's your Sparrows, your AIM-7s, and I don't know what the Russian variant is. Alright, let's see. So I have 2 contacts, multiple contacts. That's a lot of Russian planes. And that's about 40 nautical miles away. Let me draw my line. Those are about 90, so 40. Yeah, that's my friendly MiG. And you can see the triangle is pointed away from me, so his velocity vector is moving away from me. So he's probably not an enemy, but at the same time, do I have my IFF? Yeah, my IFF is on, but I can't read his transponder. He either didn't have it on, or someone has their IFF settings messed up. So basically, I can't tell whether or not he's actually a friendly. Ooh, that Phoenix is dangerously close to that MiG. It's gonna miss though. Good. Alright. Looks like we're gonna get into a little bit of tussle right here. One of the Tomcats launched its Phoenix missile. But it doesn't, I'm not sure if it's actually tracking. It doesn't look like it's actually tracking. No, it is. And you can hear the tracking. That's my RWR. Yep. This game allows for the blue side to have a variety of stuff, both Soviet and Western. All right. Let's see. That's a big missile coming its way. That's not a bomb. That's the Phoenix missile. That's actually an air-to-air missile. It's really big, flies really fast, and it can only be carried by the kind of monster that the F-14 Tomcat is, because that thing is massive. In fact, the F-14 Tomcat was designed so that it can carry this monster of a missile. It has the longest range of all the missiles in the game as far as air-to-air goes. It's the fastest missile, and it's the scariest one. Because, if they shoot at you with the Phoenix, you wouldn't know they shot at you, and they can shoot from longer distance than you can shoot your missile. So, all in all, you know, the F-14 is a very, very dangerous opponent in the BVR setting, beyond visual range, and just basically radar and missile fights. It does look like an AGM because it's got that chunkiness to it. It doesn't have the kind of
Good job. That is confirmed kills
that
on
you
the
see
Biggins.
you know, normal air-to-air missiles. Alright. Their distance is actually coming really close. They're within 20 miles. F-14 launches Sparrow. This is a Fox 1 missile, so he has to have a solid radar lock on this Hornet. And the Hornet launches a Sparrow missile. He launches the second one. Let's see if the Hornet does anything. The Hornet is cranking. The Tomcat's a little late on the response. And the Sparrow tracks, but no cigar. Goes past the Tomcat. And both of his missiles go wide. Yep. Alright. So we got the Sukhoi coming in here. And the MiG is in the merge with the Hornet. It's a missile kill. The AIM-9 comes down. And the Hornet's already down. But here comes the missile. And it takes out the MiG. And now this flanker and the Tomcat gets really close. So they're in mid-merge distance. They're basically within gun distance of each other. And we can take a look. That's the flanker right there, and here's the Tomcat. And they get into a turn battle. Let's see if I can get a good camera view. So there's the Here's the Tomcat. And he splashes the flanker. And, you know, I'm still trying to get into the fight. Alright. I should actually pay attention. I'm gonna have to go bearing 106. Oh yeah, that's Sukhoi. Died really fast. Alright, so it's 3 versus 4. Alright, let's see what I have, what options I have. Okay. Got 2 targets, 1 in range, 2 of them are in range. I'm gonna go into Afterburner. To give my missile the best chance of hitting the enemy, I want to be at least Mach 1, so I'm breaking the sound barrier for the missile. The missile coming off my rail doesn't have to break the sound barrier, but I'm actually already within lethal range, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Fox 3 shoot. Now I have a second target. And it's right there. Fox 3. Alright, splash 1 on the F-16. Gonna follow through on the second target. I think he's gonna avoid that. So I'm gonna... Alright, he avoids that. Fox 3 again. Hopefully. No. That's within the weapons engagement zone. Alright, crank hard. I'm gonna try to get behind him. Solid lock. Fox 2. Alright. Yeah, the F-16 came out from this way, where the other F-16 is. So I have a Hornet that's closing in on me. I don't know what. I don't have much missile options right now. Let's see. Oh, that's a missile launch.
Yard tracking. Angle of attack. Tracking.
Oh no, I'm slow.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
This is actually a really bad position because I am really vulnerable to a missile shot right now. But I can see the Hornet.
Tracking. 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 Lock. Lock. Lock.
Come on, give me the lock.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Fox 3.
Missile.
That's tracking.
Missile.
Come on, give me the kill. There we go. Splash 2.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
All right, I'm gonna try to go for that bomber because I don't think I have enough. Oh, I can do this. All right. Jettison tank.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Alright, I'm gonna actually go after the bomber and ignore the F-16 if he doesn't come after me because I only got a Fox 2, a heat seeker, and that's definitely not enough to take out. Or at least that's not a very smart fight to pick was the F-16. This aircraft, the JF-17, has a very interesting gun system. So the guns from the JF-17 is actually the same gun that's basically ripped off that MiG-21. The 23mm Russian cannon was 180 rounds. Now that gun has to be manually loaded. So the way that they load that gun is they place 3 explosive charges into it. And you have 3 chances to load the gun in case the gun jams. And the funny thing about the gun in this aircraft is that the way they fitted it. They fitted it kind of pointing down. So in a dogfight, it's almost utterly useless because of the amount of lead you have to pull on your aircraft to get the gun into position. It's actually kind of hilarious. It's definitely a bit of an interesting design, I think. They definitely, when they made the aircraft and shoved the gun in there, I want to say that's a very much of an afterthought. And they definitely didn't want to encourage their pilots to use the gun because I found the gun very, very clumsy to use and out of place. Every other, how do I want to say it? Every other aircraft in this game has the gun very readily accessible with basically a touch of the stick. Like there's a button on your throttle and stick that you can just press and you can access your guns. But for this, you actually have to go into the screen. Actually, let me show you. You have to go into air to air. You have to press the gun, and then you have to wait for it to flash. It'll select the gun and give you the reticle, but your gun isn't actually ready. You have to use one of the explosive charges to feed the gun. And only then is your gun ready to fire. Let's see. I still have a little bit of fuel. I have 1 missile. I have guns that are useless. Do I want to get into a tussle? It's a game. If I die, I can just respawn. altitude on that is wow. Alright, thank you for dropping by, Cosmos. It was nice having you. Feel free to drop by anytime. I hope you enjoy your new DCS. And thanks for subscribing.
Tracking.
Hear me?
Lima Charlie.
Voodoo, you're loud and clear. Radio check.
Lima Charlie.
Region check. Yeah, Quilty boy, I can hear you loud and clear.
Don't worry, I have anxiety for my safety too. All the time. Especially when I fly this kind of aircraft. And I carry no fuel tanks. Whatever's tracking me, I'm flying away from it, and I'm running as far as I can. Yes, no fuel. Oh, thanks. They did a really good job with this game. I'm running one of my newer PCs. It's not top of the line, but it has a 3070, so I try to make the best use of it. A bit low on the fuel. I think I can make it though. What's my distance? 67 nautical miles. I can cut back on the throttle a little bit. Is there a tanker near me? Yes, but not close enough. The airfield would have been would be much closer. What is my bingo fuel? My bingo fuel is 1,102 pounds. My current fuel is 924 pounds. Alright. Doesn't look like a lot of traffic. Tracking. Looks like the F-16 is gonna come in first, and then I can come in second, and there's nothing in between us, so I should be able to make it, I think. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's go from flight plan to approach. And I need... Which one's the closest one? What is the airfield ID for this one? Oh, that doesn't help me. I need an airfield ID specifically for this aircraft, because this aircraft is kind of special. Well, that's easy. What's the TACAN? Oh, why? Doesn't have a TACAN. Okay, whatever. Right now I'm just trying to get home so I can refuel and rearm. Right now I have a single heat seeker missile and internal guns that doesn't do much. So I'm gonna go home, pick up some missile, and then go back into the fight.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
Okay. Still looking good. Still have 870 pounds of fuel. So that's plenty.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Ah, that's right.
Tracking.
It's because this airport isn't actually programmed into my flight plan. That's why I can't find it. Oh well. The good old Mark 1 eyeball will be good enough for me.
Tracking. Tracking. Tracking.
That's like really annoying.
The small enemy group has been eliminated. Good job.
Okay. I can barely make out the airfield from
Very
here.
nice, boys. We now control Sukumi. Friendlies can now spawn here.
Tracking. Tracking.
For as far as the controls go, I read a manual.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
Let me see.
Tracking. 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 Tracking.
So,
Tracking.
there's a guy named Chuck Owl. He writes these very nice DCS guides. For the JF-17, this specific airframe, it's a bit of a long guide. It's about 395 pages long. This, I would say yes. This is almost as close to the jet as you can ever get. So it is very much true to life. Now the power to weight ratio and some of the stuff are obviously classified, and the planes are nerfed versions of their real life selves, because obviously a lot of the top speed and engine performance information are still classified, so they went with what they had. Alright. What is this? Soci traffic, inbound, fuel emergency, straight in approach, runway 24. Oh, that's the wrong channel, goddammit. Soci traffic, fuel emergency, inbound, runway 244, straight in approach. I really like this game because it's basically as close to life as you can get was an actual fighter jet, you know. And for a lot of games, it just doesn't do it for me after playing this one, because it's basically like learning how to fly the aircraft itself. It's actually really interesting, and it's really rewarding when you feel like, oh yeah, you know, I know the systems on this aircraft, and I know how to do all these things on it. and no little tips and quirks and tricks on the aircraft. It's a fun hobby. Who is that on the runway? Why are you blocking my emergency approach? Don't do this, man. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. He's taking off, and I actually have a emergency drag chute. So, pull up and flare.
Altitude, altitude, altitude.
And drag chute. You can see parachute, and then just brakes. Nose wheel steering. Brings it to a stop. I've been playing this game on and off for approximately 2 to 3. I'm coming up on my third year playing this game. And so far I can say I'm comfortable with maybe 3 out of the aircraft in this game. This one, the JF-17, the F-16 Viper, and the FA-18 Hornet. Those are my main aircrafts. Okay, let's get the ground crew to give us fuel and armament. Refresh the chaff and flare on this one.
请求补充燃油。
Actually.
请求装弹。收到。
There we go.
请求补充燃油。请求装弹。
All right, and with this
收到。
with this aircraft, all of its combat data is stored in this data cartridge. So now that I fired all the missiles and stuff, I need to actually change it out and hand it off to the flight chief to have it updated, and then return to me.
Warning.
So I'll have to open up the cockpit.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Actually, it's
Warning.
gonna be a little bit for the fuel and
Warning.
the missile to get on, so I'm gonna get a quick drink of water real quick.
Warning. 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 Warning.
加油完毕。
Warning. 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 Warning.
All right.
Warning.
Thank you. I'm actually, it's a pretty niche, I want to say, hobby that I want to show more people and get more people into, because I really enjoy it. All right, we'll have the flight chief update.
装弹完毕。
Copy. Updating the DTC now.
Warning. Warning.
DTC update complete.
Warning.
All right. So it's giving me warnings because I have it setting to air mode.
Warning.
And because I have a belly tank for extra fuel, I need to go to air to ground. it sets the G limiters for. Are there other aircraft to fly? Yes, there's the F-16, the FA-18, the Mirage 2000. There's two versions of the A-10. There is, as far as modern planes, there's also the Harrier, the AV-8B, and there's the F-14 Tomcat. Those are the big modules. There's also a bunch of other modules. Let's go to the main map and see what everybody else is flying. We have this guy here. He is the Su-25T. That's Russian ground attacker. As you can see, it's carrying a whole lot of missiles and bombs and all kinds of crazy stuff. That's like basically kind of the Russian A-10 equivalent. This guy is flying the F-18 Hornet. He is carrying Maverick air-to-ground missiles. Have I flown them all? I've flown them all a little bit. I'm not comfortable enough with all of them to fly them all the time, but the JF-17 is my main aircraft that I stick to, and sometimes I fly the other stuff. Here we have F-14 Tomcat. This is another player. This player is in the F-16 Viper. It's silent because he's faster than the speed of sound right now. Here we got one guy in the AV-8B Harrier launching a missile. What else? There are all kinds of interesting aircrafts. The enemies, they have a flanker. Another. This is a C flanker. This is a regular flanker. The A version of the F-16. This is a F-15. That one's past Mach 1 also. Another C flanker, another Viper. Fun stuff. All right, let's get back into it. We're gonna close our canopy. All right, seal. All right. Ready to taxi. Have I fought all the other fighters? I've fought basically every single fighter in this plane. I'm not very good at it because there are some fights that are just goes very badly with this particular plane because of certain traits this plane has. For example, this plane doesn't have the highest power to weight ratio. It is also a very light aircraft, and it has the same engines as the MiG-29, which means when you throttle up, it gets very smoky and very dark. So it's easy for other people to spot you, basically. All right. I don't think anybody's on this airfield, so I'm going to. Take the runway. Line up. Brakes. Bring it to full mill power. Check flaps. Control surface is all good. Release brakes. 130. Pull. Gently. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps up. Right now, all of the tower chatter is coming from the simulator itself, but I do have the radios open to chat with other people. For example, radio check 305.
Loud and clear.
Oh, I see. Alright, let's look for some fights. Most of these, alright, so the major bearing is going to be like 1, 2, 4. Most of these fights are beyond visual range. I'm going to try to kill them with my missiles, with the assistance of my radar, before we get into actual dog fights. That's probably the ideal way I want to get this handled. Bearing 062. Yes, that was the actual person that returned my radio check. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to plug in the data cartridge. I was wondering where my missiles went. So this on Sundays, I fly this game with a bunch of my friends. There's gonna be a lot more radio chatter then, because you know, we are people that know each other, so you know, we're gonna end up talking a little bit more. And the communication is gonna be a little tighter. Alright, all that's left is just trying to fly into the fight. It's going to be 122 nautical miles, so it's actually a long ways. I'm just going to put her on autopilot. Alright, do hold, and I'm going to tell it to climb to 44,000 feet. I'll be streaming with, basically with all the players. I don't think they'll be streaming, but I'll be streaming all of us playing together. And this will be happening around 12:30 CST, Central Standard Time. I'll be sure to putting a scheduled stream for it. I'm still trying to. I used to stream on Twitch, but I recently moved over to YouTube, so I'm still trying to figure a bunch of things out. Me? I'm from Texas. The best state. Some poor hornet guy just died. Oh well. Rip in pieces. Looks like it's 2 Tomcats versus everybody. What state? Texas. Ah. Mountain, Colorado's pretty cool. I can't remember when, but I went to Colorado at some point for something. I remember that's kind of like that's Mountain Standard Time. You guys are 1 hour behind us, I believe. See, what's this guy doing with F-14? He's in close with F-16, but the F-16 is not doing anything really. This F-14 is running, but that's because he has no missiles left. Yeah, that's about right. It's 9:22 over here at night, so I'm 1 hour ahead. Alright. F-14 launches the all-powerful Phoenix missile. And it's homing in. It's tracking that F-16. Yep. That's down. The F-16 launches the missile right before it died, but it looks like it's tracking and takes out the Tomcat. Double kill. When I see if they're red, so there's something called IFF. It basically it's identify friend and foe, and it basically identifies if someone's friendly or not. If it's someone's red from the red team, you know, I'm gonna shoot them and I'm gonna kill them, you know. So let's see, what do I have coming at me? I have a F-15C and a Su-33. Let's see, this thing has 2 Sparrows and 4 Sidewinders. And the flanker has 4 of those Russian Sparrows. Hold on, I want to listen to the sonic boom. I always love listening to sonic boom. Alright, let me see if I can find them on radar. They're still a little bit out, a ways out. My radar only goes up to 100, basically 80 nautical miles, so it's not a very far-looking radar. Their radar is definitely a lot stronger than mine, so they can probably see where I'm at right now, but I have the help of the AWACS. So I have this is my data link. I can see who is coming, and I can tell there's a MiG. It says MiG-29 because MiGs and the Sukhoi flankers actually use the same radar, and obviously the computer doesn't differentiate it. It'll tell you that it's coming from the signal's coming from a MiG radar, and it can be a MiG-29, could be a MiG-31, could be a J-11 flanker, C flanker, etc. F-15 radars are F-15 radars, so I can differentiate that. Now I'm gonna expand out to 240 miles. I still don't have a track on them because there's no AWACS in this area to detect them for me. So all I can do is just rely on my own radar. And at 80 nautical miles, I'm getting a radar pin. This is contact ID 35 coming towards me. You can tell with the triangle and the arrow and it's pointing direct to me. So I'm going to lock it up, and it's going to automatically identify friend and foe, and it will notice that it doesn't get a proper transponder return. And what that means is that it's probably hostile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn towards it, and I'm going to go into afterburners. At the same time, I'm also going to jettison my my fuel tank.
Warning.
And that makes me lighter and faster. One of my friends are on, we fight as a team. Alright.
Tracking.
So now they're tracking me. Missile launch. They launched a missile at me. So I'm gonna crank right while keeping them on scope. And then crank left. Fire the second missile. And then continue on this way. But I will try not to lose the lock. And I'll F-pull the other way. Throw chaff and flare each way.
Missile.
Okay, the missile goes past.
Missile.
Okay, the Sukhoi goes down. And I think... Okay. Both missiles hit, so the F-15 and the Sukhoi goes down. So what I did just now is called an F-pull maneuver. I crank one way, so the missile calculates my trajectory, and then I hard crank the other way, and causes the missile to overshoot. So I'm gonna come back from out from burner and prepare for the next engagement. It's gonna be the flanker and the F-16. I'm gonna do engage the flanker first at bearing 051. So let's see. Thanks. Yeah, we usually do like a big team thing where we attack like a installation or do like a campaign where we attack basically a big air army. It's a lot of fun. Drink a little water. All right. What's the altitude of that? Alright, so it's probably a better idea for me to take on the Viper because he's at the higher altitude. He is more dangerous to me. Yeah, definitely tune in. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think you'll probably enjoy it. 083.
Good job. We now control Sanaki. Friendlies can now spawn here.
to find that.
The enemy B-52 bomber has been spotted to the north of Sanaki. Get a few planes up in the air and shoot it down before it gets too close.
That's a job for me. 130, bearing 130, 133. Going to burners. I don't know if they can actually catch me. That's a lot of enemy hostiles. I open up my map and all I see is just enemy red planes. But I'm gonna try to get an interception on that bomber. Let's see. Let's go. Intercept course is 17. Yeah, 17. Yeah, it's not a good situation to be in. Now I have these reinforcement flight of 2 Hornets that are coming in. That's probably going to give me some assistance. And after intercepting this, I'll probably jink this way, so that they can come and block these, because they have 10 air-to-air missiles. I have 2 left. The bomber is an AI. The bomber is flown by AI. Actually, this is a PvE server, so all of the planes are flown by AIs. But some of the AIs in this game can get really tough. Also, I'm pretty sure some of their planes ignore actual physics. So PvE isn't always easier than PvP, I want to say. Also, bots tend to have perfect vision, whereas it's easy for a human player to like misread something. I'm gonna turn on the defogger so I can actually see out of my cockpit. I gotta probably intercept that one Viper first. I'm not getting any radar pings, so that's a little bit tricky. Oh no, that's him right there. Oh, I lost him. That's him. Crank right. In range. Box 3. Missiles tracking. Stay on him. Splash. Disengage. Alright, I have 1 radar missile and I have 2 heat seekers left. So I'm going to go down this way. I still have to shake all of this. All of that garbage that's trailing me. Alright. Six. I'm not getting any... Oh, there we go. I'm actually gonna go into dogfight mode. I'm gonna track him. And I got good tone. I gotta get a little closer. Alright. Holding speed. It's good. I got a key signature to lock. Fox 2. He's throwing flares. The missile got jinked. Alright, second missile, Fox 2. Alright, splash. Alright, Fox 3 is a missile that's that has its own radars. So once you launch it, it can find its own target without you giving it information from your onboard computer. Fox 1s don't have that. Oh shit.
That's a confirmed kill on the B-52. Good job.
That last Viper got to me. Alright. I'm just gonna eject. Yeah, not much you can do about that one. Let's take a look at the map. Yeah, these corners are just kind of firing off stuff. No, it's not so much distraction. I didn't he used the, so the thing was heat seeker missiles is that you don't get a radar warning, and sometimes when they get close you don't even know they were coming. And I was in a pretty bad spot to begin with. I was in a tussle with all these aircrafts. It was kind of surprising that also because I kind of tunnel vision on the big giant bomber. Yeah, this corner's gonna die. He's about to have a lot of missiles come his way. Which, speaking of which, I should I can have a little fun with this. Let's see. I'm gonna look for feet wet slot. There we go. All right, we're gonna go with a Hornet.
Request rearming.
Oh, whoops.
Copy.
We're gonna go chat, and then we're gonna do.
Request rearming.
Ah, yes, this is my favorite one.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Yeah, I just respawn. Really not much to it. Yeah, the board doesn't reset. Life carries on, basically.
Rearming complete.
Okay, couple housekeeping stuff. That's my radio warning device. I'll have my ECM on standby. Dispenser on bypass. Go to my RWR repeater on the HUD. I'm loaded up. Check, check. This aircraft is just a little bit different. Ready to taxi. Alright, this one has the helmet display, which is nice. Yup, exactly. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Alright, let's see. He's waving his hands that way, so that means I need to unfold my wings and lock it in place. Oh, he's telling me, alright, come closer. Give it a little bit of power. Stop. Oops. Overran it just a little bit. Wow, the Hornet has oh, oops, rip that guy. The Hornet's brakes are absolutely terrible. Compared to the other planes, the Hornet might as well not even have wheel brakes, I think. Ouch. Let me check if I even have the controls bound. I have wheel brakes. Ah yes, my landing gear broke. Alright, let's try this again. The flight is still... Okay.
Request rearming.
Alright.
Copy.
Once again.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Master arm on. Wings are locked.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Unable to comply.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Alright. Ground crew, salute. Hey, look at this guy. 1, 2, 3. Shooter ready. See ya. Oh wow, I picked a terrible place to start. The fight is 170 nautical miles away. Not exactly the brightest decision I've made, but okay, we can fly over there. Our radar's operating. We're gonna go to TWS. Okay, fire. Do I ever screw around and just go after everything? No, because then I'll probably get kicked from the server. Because there's kind of strict rules about team killing and stuff. What are the controls? There's controls. Okay, and designate. That's the cage on cage button. Sensor control left. Alright, this is gonna be a bit of a long flight, but that's okay. Check trim. Have I ever physically impacted another plane? Sure have. I once crashed into all of my teammates and killed all of them. And my squadron made a t-shirt in honor of that event. It's actually pretty hilarious. So there was a movie called Top Gun, and where you kind of basically there was a scene where the guy flew inverted over another plane, and I wanted to try that. Totally did not happen that way, and I just crashed into his I crashed into my friend's aircraft, and he crashed into another aircraft, and it was we just kept on crashing into each other, and it was a catastrophe. It was actually kind of amazing. Alright, 200 nautical miles at bearing 86. Was it an accident? Yes, it was absolutely an accident. I did not intend for my aircraft to make its way through the formation, but it was nonetheless extremely funny. Exactly. That's when I earned the nickname $1 Million Dead. But I'm pretty sure all those airframes come out to way more than just $1 million. My F-18 by itself comes out for way more than $1 million. Now there were at least 4 F-15s involved in that crash, and another 4 AV-8B Harriers. So that was definitely not a small price tag on that one. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. my central tank. Any survivors? Nobody survived. I mean, the people that were flying out in the other formation obviously survived, but nobody in my formation survived. Ooh, 2 F-14 shot down in quick succession. The red team's having a go at it.
Good job. We now control Cavuletti. Friendlies can now spawn here.
Excellent work, everyone. The mission was completed in time. And now, get ready for the next mission. Please join us on Discord or search for you in the browser for more servers. Restart in 1 minute.
Okay, so they actually stream on... I'll probably stream mostly on the weekends, on Saturday and Sundays, so... Alright, let's go ahead and leave the server since the mission ended. And it's almost 10 o'clock, so I'm actually going to get ready to go to bed. But I want to say thank you for so much for dropping by and enjoying my DCS content. And I really hope that you show up for the Sunday mission at 12:30. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that... you can get a notification whenever I go live. Thank you. I know I still have a lot to work on, but trying to do my best. Well, thank you so much for watching. You have a good night.